Buenos días, mi gente. Buenos días, mi gente. Me llamo Señor Ive y soy tu profesor de español. Now, clase, I know that last class, I said this was the last class that I was going to teach you all. However, I was thinking about it and said I actually came up with a good number of fun ways to continue studying Spanish over the summer. So, in addition to the stuff that I told you all last week, like using italki.com, talking to native Spanish speakers in your neighborhood, listening to music in Spanish, watching TV, stuff like that, I decided I'd either go into more detail or provide you all with another way to study Spanish. So I wanted to go over that very quickly with you all, just so you all can get another method for studying Spanish over the summer if you want, or you could probably do it with most other languages as well. And hopefully you'll find one that connects with you and you'll use that. All right. So first one is one that I wish had existed when I was a kid. It is finding manga scans online. This website, Manga Plus by Shueisha, looks really good in my opinion because you can find all the really cool mangas online. And the best part is they have them both in English and in Spanish. So, for example, we have My Hero Academia right here, and as you can see, this is the first book or whatever, and it's introducing All Might right here. So we got some phrases right here and right here. And if you are reading through and you have no clue what's going on, before I start, sorry, got ahead of myself. I recommend doing this, especially if your level's not super high, that you do this with stuff that you already understand really, really, really well. So if you're really into My Hero Academia, or Boku no Hero, whichever one you want to call it, then you've already read it, you know the story like the back of your hand, so this would be a really good candidate for you. You'd go back and you'd reread what had already happened, but this time you do it in Spanish. And so you go through and you're looking at it and you're like, all right, these words, I know what's going on, so you don't really have to translate them because you understand what's being said. If there's anything that's like sort of preventing you from understanding what's going on, or you keep seeing a phrase over and over again and you don't know what it means, then I would recommend that you look at the scans that are in English so that you can find out the phrase. For example, I don't know if they call it the quirk in the show, in the anime, or if they call it their power or whatever. But in Spanish, they call it don, like gift. All right. And so that's going to be a word that you're going to see a whole bunch of times. So if you keep saying el don, 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 and you don't know what's going on, then you could look over at the translation that's already provided. And the nice thing is you get to see how people probably are translating different phrases. Now, they're not always going to be perfect. For example, undisputed in this case, I wouldn't use this as a translation inamovibles, like immobile, but whatever. You get to sort of see some natural translations from native speakers. So we've got a whole bunch of options. You've got Bleach, you've got Jujutsu Kaisen, which also I was looking at the switch between the two. And yeah, you can just sort of see the differences between translations, but they're pretty much telling the same story. So though that is a really, really good option, especially if you're into manga. Another choice is you can go find memes on TikTok. Where was the meme that I saw? That was like, well, we got a lot of information on TikTok. I just searched up Espanol, if I'm not mistaken. It brought me to TikTok _Espanol. You can find a lot of people that create content in Spanish, and then you can follow them or whatever the phrase is in TikTok, and you can just learn in Spanish from memes. I paid a lot of attention to memes from Brazil when I was learning Portuguese, and it was really useful because I was able to incorporate this information, like the GIFs and the images, into my conversations with people over text. And so it adds a lot more flavor to your language that you're learning just because it's fun. Who doesn't like memes? But also when you're using them to communicate with people, they're like, oh, this person really does pay attention to my culture and they know what's going on. So I highly recommend that. Also, you can see like the sort of trends that are happening in the Spanish world of TikTok. And you can see stuff like preguntas y respuestas. You probably understand that that means questions and responses or questions and answers, etc. So I think that's a really useful thing. You can also go find Instagrammers influencers, or yeah, I guess Instagrammers on Instagram that are posting in Spanish. They might be speaking in Spanish, or they might just be using um, descriptions in Spanish. And either one will help you learn your language. And when your family tells you to get off social media, you can say, "But family member, I am studying Spanish. Look at the description," or "Listen, I know what they're saying." So all the more reason to leverage social media to your benefit. Another thing that you can do, everybody loves food, I think. Most people like food. And so you can watch people make food in Spanish. You can watch tutorials. For example, horchata is a really, really delicious drink from Mexico and from Spain. They have different recipes based on where you're, or Mexico and Central America versus Spain. They're going to have different kinds of recipes based off whoever's making it. But anyways, you can watch how this person is making agua de horchata, and she's using rice, so it's the Mexican version. But you can follow along and learn about Hispanic foods, recipes, and drinks, and it'll help your Spanish as well. And if you actually follow the recipe as they go, you can make delicious food. It's like a triple win situation. Now, class A. The nice thing here is this video already had subtitles. Well, a lot of YouTube videos at this point have automatic subtitles generated by YouTube. And there's an extra cool thing. There's this language learning extension for Google Chrome, but I assume it's for everywhere, called Language Learning with, well, this one's called Language Learning with Netflix, but they have a Language Learning with YouTube version, which is what I was using over here. And pretty much when you install this extension and activate it, it will allow you to get double subtitles. So for example, we've got it right here. We can check the settings, right? We got your subtitle language, Spanish or auto-generated in this case. And then you can select your translation language so that you can see English accompanying whatever language it is that's being shown. And you can change the level of difficulty of the words that are being shown to you, because they'll highlight specific words. But overall, I like this a lot because it lets you see auto-generated subtitles and then translations of those auto-generated subtitles, because a lot of videos on YouTube at this point now have auto-generated subtitles, but they don't necessarily have the translation in addition to that. So it'll show you what's going on in Spanish and in English at the same time. So if you don't understand everything and they don't naturally provide you subtitles, that's okay, because you can still find a way to make them. Another thing here is, if I'm not mistaken, I don't use this app that much, but because I can just watch most of my stuff in languages that I understand, like Spanish and Portuguese. I should probably use it for French. That'll be good. You can search for videos with subtitles. So you can turn that on, and then it makes it easier to find videos that you're looking for that you can use this app with. So besides doing recipes, you can do tutorials. For example, how to draw with colored pencils. And since this one has subtitles, I guess it would work with that app as well. And you can just watch. This is a nice one because you don't necessarily have to understand everything that they're saying in order to be able to follow along and see, like, oh, I should probably color in this way, or use a different kind of stroke technique if you're into drawing. Found another one for painting. Similar idea. This person actually included English subtitles, which is nice.
Y ahora voy a empezar a utilizar un color siena tostado tradicional para empezar a oscurecer todo el jarrón. Antes he hecho una pintura alargando.
She's talking extra fast because I use an extension that lets me speed up the videos. But pretty much you can just, find whatever hobby it is that you're into and watch tutorials from different people about how to do these hobbies. This woman, Yobanka Art Paint, makes lots of tutorials about how to paint well. So if you're super into painting or drawing or whatever, you can check out this channel, follow along, and listen as she goes, and that'll help you understand what she's talking about. And the nice thing is, it looks like she's made a big effort to include subtitles on a lot of her videos. So you can understand every word if you want to, or you can turn off the subs and just listen and see how it goes. Then we also have a tutorial for how to draw in Procreate for people that like digital art. And similar idea, it looks like they also have subs, but it's auto-generated. So if you're using that language learning with YouTube extension, then it should get you translations as well. So pretty much you don't have to like look up tutorials for drawing or painting or digital drawing or making food. All you need to do is think about something that you find interesting and start looking up tutorials for those things in Spanish, or just, looking up videos about, I don't know, if you're interested in Colombia or something, look up videos about Colombia, and then you might want to type in Colombia Español, and then you'll start getting into a rabbit hole about this kind of content so that you can find stuff that you're actually interested in. Next, of course, we have Netflix. I was watching the first episode of Demon Slayer because I've heard lots of people saying it's amazing and pretty good episode. I think it's a good one to start. And as you saw with the language learning extension for YouTube, same language extension same extension was made by people, but for language learning with Netflix. So it works the same way. What I think is really cool is it shows you all this stuff on the side. I think you can get that shown on the YouTube version as well, and you can sort of see what all the stuff is from the script, because they just have all the words out, and then you can see what these words mean. Makes your life super easy. Oh my gosh! So you don't even have to go typing in words onto word reference or whatever, and you can just look at it right here. So pretty much you can go through, if you want, you could read over, make sure that you know everything that they're saying, and then you can watch the episode, or you could watch the episode of a show that you already know very well, like the back of your hand. It's a very important thing, guys. And then just watch it through your first time, trying to understand what's going on, read the subs as you go, and if you need help, you can go reread them. They have navigation that makes it easy for you to go back and check like what was going on, like just go back to the start of a sub. So it's really useful navigation-wise for language learning. They've done a good job thinking this out. And so really powerful app for helping you, but ultimately just you gotta go through the thing and do it yourself. And yeah, so that is another great option for studying Spanish over the summer in a fun way. And then the last one, I know people really love Duolingo. I personally don't think Duolingo is super, super useful as an app in and of itself. However, they have really nice resources like the Duolingo podcast. I like it a lot because they introduce you to different aspects of the Spanish-speaking world. For the Spanish-speaking podcast, they have French as well. So if you want to learn French instead of Spanish, you can do that. And you can listen on this website, or you can listen on your phone or whatever, on any of these apps. And the cool thing is you can listen and read the transcript as they go. The downside, in my opinion, to a lot of this podcast is that they do a whole bunch of speaking in English, as you can see. However, it does provide a lot of context for you for when they start speaking. And then usually they tell you more or less what they said immediately after in case you missed anything. So it's definitely useful. If it's something that seems appealing to you, you can check it out on podcast.duolingo.com/Spanish, and you can see like the 87 different episodes that they have available. See if any of them sound appealing to you, and go check them out. So, clase, those are some of the super useful ways that you can study Spanish over the summer. I really, fingers crossed, hope that you will do it. Do something. It doesn't really matter what you do as long as you're doing something consistently and it's helping you with your either reading, listening, speaking, or writing skills. Just you got to do something. And yeah, it was a pleasure working with you all again. And this time is definitely the official last hasta luego. And I hope that you all have the best luck with Spanish and you have a great summer and you have a great next year. Hasta luego, mi gente. Hasta luego.